the concept that search engine optimization specialists have been struggling with for years. And it not only applies to, written content, it also applies to video content as well. That's the ultimate question. So, what we're going to build into today is, how does duplicate content affect not only your local search engine optimization, meaning now that you can actually post, make posts on your Google My Business page, but how does it affect, you in terms of getting reviews? What if you have duplicate reviews on various third-party websites as well? These are really important questions to ask. I get that question all the time. Can I leave a review? Can I have people leave a review on Yelp and Google and Bing? Why not just, do that as opposed to just having them leave a review on one site? And the pain again is that, hey, if you do that, you might get penalized. You might get put in what we call, Google sandbox, which could definitely mean fewer inbound phone calls and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And a lot of the things, in our research that we have found is to where, because we go straight to Google, like straight to the source. And so it talks about duplicate content. And it says, really, there is no penalty. But then you have the other thing where it talks about how it goes into a coding discussion, as far as if your code, you have the same content, but your code is a little bit different, then that's going to show up different in the search engine results. And it's not really going to be classified as duplicate content. And so when I went to the Google forum, let's see, which one was it on? To kind of see,
and I want you guys,
they're out there. Yep.
Yeah, I want you guys to understand what duplicate content is. I mean, so what we used to do in the days of old is we used to literally like copy and paste an article and literally like just put it on on our blog, and then literally copy and paste it and put it on Tumblr or on Medium or on whatever other hosted site or Blogger, and that's straight up duplicate content. But then what we did is we started getting smarter, and we started using these things called spinners, where it would actually like spin the words around, and it would create a complete sentence, just use the words differently in order to get around the quote unquote duplicate content. And so, but I just want you guys to understand that. But Crystal, what you're looking at right there is the Google forum, which is great. I'm really curious what you found there when you did the search.
Okay. So on this part, it says, if we have 20% duplicate content in my site, then we can see the good results or not in the search engines, or can we see it result in the search engines? And here is a top contributor for Google. And I really liked part of his answer where, search engines kind of frown upon duplicate content, but for you to really get the best answer for your question is to do your own search and type in those keywords or those phrases and see where your duplicate content shows up, if it shows up, or if the search engine is going to pick one versus the other based off of what you're searching for. And so I like that, he gave that answer rather than a yes or no. It's like, well, just do your keyword research on your own specific blog or video or whatever and see where it shows up. And there's your answer,
Yeah. So what he's saying is create that original blog post on your blog and then duplicate it and put it on Tumblr or Medium or Blogger or wherever, and then see if those other articles show up or not, to see if you're getting quote unquote penalized is what he's saying. And that's a great answer. And, my question in terms of local SEO is, what if you actually, what if somebody creates these small mini posts that you can create in the Google My Business, on the Google My Business page? Mm-hmm. What happens with that? And what you told me is the answer, I think, Crystal, is that basically you can do that because you can literally, we've done this as well. We've duplicated a post by just changing out the image, basically copying and pasting the text over again, and then putting the same link in and posting the same exact post like 2 weeks later, because, Google reminds you, they're like, hey, your post is about to expire because it only shows for 7 days. And so you got to come up with something new. But, I'll bet you half the people out there are probably just doing what we did and just changing the image, using the same text and using the same link. And did you find anything about that?
Yeah, so there's no penalty for that duplicate content posting with Google. And I like too how Joyce, who's another contributor, top contributor, I think the fourth one in the Google forum. And so she also talks about there's no penalty for posting the same thing on multiple locations. So if you have more than one location and more than one Google business page, there's no penalty for, posting that straight across the board either.
Okay. That's awesome. And that's what I love. So great. I love just going in here and showing the forum. This is great. I mean, to be able to show like the actual answers themselves from the top contributors out there. And, this is, Crystal goes here and finds a lot of information out, and this is what she does. She just lives in the forum and she's a contributor herself. If you are a franchise, this is huge knowledge to be able to take the content and just basically, it will take some time, but you have somebody that's an intern, basically just, do this and do it over and over again and submit the content for all your locations. Man, that's going to give you so much Google love right now, especially since most businesses are not doing this. So here's one thing I've realized in a decade or so that I've actually been doing, what I'm doing in digital marketing is you're going to get what you want if you do what other people are not willing to do. Okay. A great example of this is, I was just talking to Steve Rosenberg this morning from Empire Industries. Okay. He's one of our longtime clients, and he's very reluctantly kicking and screaming going into this world of chat. Okay. And he is not wanting to do the 1-minute conversations. And I keep telling him, like, Steve, look, you're going to have to listen to my conversations because I don't have time to repeat myself again, because he's like, I can't listen to all these audio messages you're sending. And I'm like, well, either you listen to the audio messages or you're not going to get the information, because I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? What a valuable way to send and receive information in 1-minute bite-sized chunks, and to be able to re-listen to those. It's just such an effective way to communicate. And the reason why Steven has had the success that he has is because he did what people were not willing to do 5 years ago when I said, Steven, get reviews on Google. He got 400 reviews on Google in the past 4 years, about 100 a year on average. What's happened? He is ranking first on maps. That's not the only reason why he's ranking first on maps, because the other thing I told him to do is start doing video. What did he do about 2-3 years ago? Started doing video. What's he doing now? I said, Steven, do live video. What's he started doing like 6 months ago? He started doing live video. Where is his website ranking now? His website is ranking first organically, and that is what is piggybacking his Google My Business page to rank first in the Google My Business section. And also because he's got so many reviews, and because he's got these social signals coming from all the live videos he's doing, Google knows that it's relevant, pertinent, real-time content that he's creating that you can't replicate because it's live. And he's also got this huge mound of YouTube content that's been created over the past 3 years, and this huge mound of reviews that he's gotten, 400 plus. I gave him this 400th, by the way, the other day. Man, like I can't create a better example than that case study. Now, was he kicking and screaming, 5 years ago when I told him to do this? He was, but he did it. And, today, the next wave of what's happening is starting conversations. And Google My Business allows you to do this by integrating your cell phone number in with text messaging directly from your Google My Business page, so that people can actually communicate with you through their messenger, their chat system, which is Allo. Okay. This is where everything's going. The writing's on the wall. The question is are you leveraging these tools? Are you paying attention to things like duplicate content, et cetera? And then the other thing that we're going to talk about is the duplicate content in terms of reviews. Okay. Here's what I would say about reviews and having somebody post on multiple third-party directories. Okay. I would say do it, but I would have the person write the review over again in their own words. In other words, I would resist having the person literally copy and paste the review and move it from Google to Facebook and then post it to Yelp, etc. I would just have them retype it, and that way you're safe. But yes, absolutely, that is a huge secret. If somebody's leaving a review on Google, well, Why not leave it on Facebook? Why not leave it on Yelp? You know, like say the same thing, just a little different way. It's only, 3 or 4 sentences anyway, it's not like you're writing a blog post, and, but, did you find any information about duplicate content for reviews, Crystal?
I did not. Let me see.
Okay.
I didn't find anything, but I don't think I was searching the correct keywords.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think that there's really, that's my main suggestion there. And by the way, if you have any questions, guys, what I'm talking about here is chat. Okay. Engage with us on chat. m.me/accelerate marketing, m.me/accelerate marketing, or go to our website. You'll see that we've got chat there. We will start a conversation with you within 5 minutes by sending you audio and video messages back and forth, or whatever way you choose you're more comfortable with. We can just keep it, text. We can send you audio messages. We can send you screencast videos, everything in order to create the experience that you want and you expect in real time. And that's the power of chat. And that's where things are going. And that's where we can answer your questions. I mean, you can download the top 10 mistakes if you start engaging with us.
We'll send those link to you in our comment.
Okay. And we'll give you in the comments there, I'm sure, Crystal's put the reputation quiz as well. So you can go and answer those 5 questions and find out what people, what you need to pay attention to. There's 5 questions that literally will take you 60 seconds or less. And if you're not completely blown away, I will be surprised. But this is where things are going. If you're a property management company, please join our group. We're at Property Management Lead Generation is the Facebook group. We've got close to 100 people in there right now, and we give value every single time. I actually just went live the other day with Steven Rosenberg and talked to him about how he's grown his business, his property management business, from 200 doors to 800 doors. And it had a lot to do with what I talked about earlier, which is doing what other people don't want to do and to get the results that other people aren't able to get. And did you find anything else, Crystal?
I didn't find anything else. I'll have to do some research on that, because when I type in duplicate reviews, it just brings up duplicate listings or transferring location address from one to the other, if those reviews will transfer over. And it doesn't really talk anything about duplicate reviews. Okay.
And one thing I have to say, Crystal, you've done a great job. I mean, everybody, if you see this video, if you just give a comment and say, give a shout out to Crystal, because she does a great job of setting these things up every day. And I just have to sit here and show up, and I'm at the breakers in Florida and on my cell phone. Thank God, because like I said, if I couldn't do it on my cell phone, I probably wouldn't do it. And so we've created a system that works for us, and it's one that we use with our clients. Where if you want to go live, like we talked about, speaking of duplicate content, you want to be able to go live on Facebook. Why not go live on YouTube and Periscope and all the other video channels out there? Well, we know that you're not going to get penalized with video. And that's why we go live to multiple channels, because every channel is a little bit different. When we go live to all the channels at once, because YouTube is all about keywords. It's all about long-term keyword optimization so that people can find that video and search. Facebook is all about social. It's about sharing the video and using hashtags and @ symbols in order to tag people so that the video is shareable, where people will want to comment on it and invite other people to be social around the video. But Crystal does such a good job of setting this up. We use a system and a tool that is phenomenal, and it's like $15 a month, and we can stream to basically 10 different channels at once, and also create a podcast out of it. Eventually, that's our next step. So anyway, well, anything else?
Nope, that's all for today. Send us a message at m.me/accelerate marketing. It was good to discuss duplicate content today, and knowing that it's not really going to affect anything. And if you have second guesses about it, you can just, do your own research with the 7 to 10 keyword phrases that are in your content to see if it shows up and if it's the problem. So I love that answer that we found in the Google forum.
Yeah. And that's, you know, if you're creating blog posts, you know, obviously you can use a spinner to spin it, you know, but ultimately it's just like, you know, hey, you know, put it out there on all these channels and see what happens, I think is really what is the answer that we're giving. And, you know, ultimately, you know, that's what's, you know, you gotta split test just like anything else.
Yeah. And tomorrow we'll talk about the difference between email and messenger, because now that chat, I mean, you've been talking about this for almost a year since I've met you, Ryan, about chat. And so I'd like to touch base on that tomorrow now that it's really starting to take off.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And yeah, we love starting conversations with people, and we found that I think the data suggests that you're like 50% or more likely to actually have somebody buy your product or engage with your company if you get them within that 5-minute window of them starting a chat from your website or from your email. So if there's that magic window, we talk about the window of reciprocity, you know, with getting reviews. It's about an hour. Well, there's a window of, and we got to think of a name for it, but there's definitely a window of opportunity of about 5 minutes, which is much shorter when somebody actually starts a conversation. So a window of conversation or a window of chat opportunity. I don't know,
it's kind of like, you know, because you talk about the PITA formula: problem, irritate, take away, call to action. And so within that 5 minutes, if you talk to that person, they're searching for a way to solve that pain. And so you know, within that 5 minutes, if you're able to schedule your appointment and move forward and help them with that, then that's half the battle. Yeah,
it is. And that's the thing, is just answering their question, making sure that you're there as a resource, and they know that. And it also just meets them where they're at. Yeah. You know, it's not as big of a commitment to start a chat as it is to start a phone conversation with somebody, or to attend a webinar even, or to attend a live event, for goodness sakes. I mean, that's a huge commitment. You can't just walk out of the room, you know what I'm saying? Whereas with a chat, I mean, you're there, and that's why people love it. But they want to get their answers. They want to get their questions answered. And it's the perfect way to meet people where they're at. And this is the only challenge that I have with some of these platforms that are out there right now, is I love to send audio messages, because 30% of communication or more is in vocal intonation. And I want to send video messages. The other like 70% of communication is body language. If I can't send audio and video messages, oh my gosh, I'm not going to, you know, like, I'm not saying I don't want to use that chat platform, but I'm just saying that they better get something in place where I can start sending audio messages or video messages. Because as a salesperson, if I can't use my vocal intonation and I can't use my entire being or person to communicate with somebody, then it's like going to a fight with one hand behind my back, you know? Yep.
And tomorrow we will continue on this conversation in regards to the difference between email and messenger. So create a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thanks, Chris.